The Zidoo H6 is another Android TV box featuring the Allwinner H6 processor, which is totally and utterly brand new and is the first of its kind to boast 6K capabilities. However, we were utterly disappointed when we tried out the Beelink GS1, which also featured the Allwinner H6 processor. Now, I think that was more down to the fact that Beelink have just let the side down when it comes to putting their firmware together. So let's see how Zidoo have performed with this Android TV box. My name is Matthew and you are watching the MXQproject. So let's get this thing unboxed. It's actually quite nice packaging. It's quite a lot better than Beelink's at least, and everything's all individually wrapped, which is quite nice to see. So let's go open up this first little box, and as we can see, the Zidoo is just sat nicely in here, just nice and protected in this plastic packaging. And yeah, it's a lovely looking box. We shall take a bit closer look just in a second after we've done the unboxing. So as you probably noticed by now, we're certainly battling with lighting here at the MXQproject. It's very dark in the room we're trying to record everything in. So I've just got some lights here just to help with things along the way. But you know, we live in quite a dark country as it is, so do bear with me if you're finding the lighting's not that great. So here's another little box inside the packaging, and here's all our bits and pieces. And we've got the remote just here. That's a lovely looking remote. Very impressed by that. It looks great, that. And we've got a power supply here. Good quality power supply by the looks of it. This is a US version. Obviously choose the right one for your country. And we've got a little adapter just here as well, which actually clicks on, and it's a European one. And here's quite a nice big HDMI cable, quite a chunky one there. And finally, we've got this relatively okay user manual. And that's it, guys. Let's move on now to the next part. So the first thing with this box, and I'm sure you'll agree, is that it looks really, really good. It's aluminium design casing, and it just looks fantastic, a really nice finish. So if you look a bit closer at the box, it's got two USB 2.0 ports, and it's also got a USB 3.0 port, which is great to see. On the back, it's got an optical port, and it says it can handle Dolby Digital Surround Sound 5.1, which is great, as well as that it's got HDMI 2.0 port, so it can handle your full 4K at 60 frames a second, although I'm not entirely sure how that incorporates 6K. Now, as well as that, it's got an Ethernet port, and that can handle 1000 megabits, which is great, but I am a little bit confused because this is Zidoo's flagship Android TV box, yet it doesn't have dual band Wi-Fi. It's only got 2.4G. However, it's a very, very good Wi-Fi chipset, and it's very well built. We've tested it over long distance, and it's doing pretty well, and overall much better than, say, the Beelink GS1, which the Wi-Fi on that wasn't the best, really, to be fair. So welcome to the Zidoo H6 launcher. Now you might recognize this from my previous review of the Z66X, and yeah, it's exactly the same launcher. I wasn't a big fan of that box, but this is different hardware. I was a big fan of this launcher. It's very nice looking, and it's very simple to use, and it kind of reminds me of the Google lean-back launcher. I think that was what they were trying to do when they built this launcher, kind of mimic the Google lean-back launcher. And as you can see, it's very easy to use, it's very bright, and it's just nice looking, and it's very pleasant to actually use on a daily basis. So if we go into the settings here, this is actually the TV box's settings rather than the Android settings, and we can change all sorts of different things in here, which is fantastic. We can even change the background screen as well on the launcher, which, you know, not many launchers can do, so I'm really impressed by that. You can probably add your own as well if you want to, and you can change it. Obviously at the moment we've just got this kind of Christmassy kind of theme going on here with the background and the hills going on there with the bit of snow, and that kind of reminds me of Christmas. Obviously we don't not want that in the middle of summer, so we can change that if we want to. Obviously we've got our, you know, general Android settings. We can go in there, we can change lots of different things. We've got lots of different options, so this box can really be tweaked to make it your own basically. Now, moving on from that, the firmware seems quite stable at the moment, but I'd really like to see how this gameplay works, how it compares to the GS1, because you got to remember these are basically the same pieces of hardware, so it will be interesting to see which is better box, who's done a better job when building their firmware. So, what's great to see on this box as well is that it also receives OTA updates, which is always good to see because obviously it's the firmware that makes the box, and if you've got support there over a period of time, then that's great because any bugs that come, they can fix it and send it out to you. So let's move on now. Let's see how the gaming performance performs on this device. So here's our first game. This is Asphalt 8. We run this on every device we can get our hands on, basically just to see how well they perform, because Asphalt 8 is pretty graphically intensive. So this is preset itself to high, so that's the most intensive graphics this game can produce. So how does it perform? Well, it's okay. As you can see, it's kind of struggling, it's a little bit jittery, kind of what I expect basically. At the end of the day, although this is a high-end box, this processor still is kind of mid-range in terms of gameplay, so I don't expect too much at all. But if you just knock it down just a little bit down to medium settings, as you can see, the gameplay is improved a lot and everything's nice and smooth controlling, and I happily sit here all day playing on Asphalt 8 on these settings on this TV box. So this is Modern Combat, and again we've got this damn glitch again where the controller just isn't talking to the device properly and we're just twirling around in a circle. This device can run this game, it just isn't working with this controller. This is the official Xbox 360 controller, and there's a lot of Android TV boxes that suffer from this. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but particularly with these games, Gameloft games and certain other ones, we've just got this issue. Not entirely sure what it is, but don't worry too much about it. Just avoid this particular game and maybe similar games as well. Now this is Rayman for Android, and this takes me back to my childhood, and it runs really well actually, and it's one of those games we've struggled to get playing on quite a number of TV boxes. No idea why. It's not exactly, I mean, high-end gaming, is it? But there we go, it struggled, and as you can hear, the music's kind of funny on it. It's kind of cracking a lot, and well, it doesn't sound very good, but apart from that, the gameplay is absolutely fine. So for some reason, Rayman is just really difficult to run on these Android TV boxes. So overall, the gaming experience on this is pretty good, not too shabby. The joypad especially works beautifully with this box. No lagging, no faults, just connects and away you go and you can play your games. So let's move on now. Let's see how this Antutu benchmark stacks up against other TV boxes. So this is the Antutu bench score, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all actually. It's scored one of the highest we've ever seen on one of these Chinese Android TV boxes. It's almost the same as the Beelink GS1, and yeah, not bad at all. And it's one of the first TV boxes to actually have a CPU score of mid to high end from one of these style TV boxes. So far this box is not bad. It's running really nicely, gameplay is not too bad, and overall it's got a pretty good Antutu bench score. Now, how does it fare when playing videos, films, movies and so on? Unfortunately, I can't test that 6K capability. I don't have the equipment, nor do I have the equipment to play 4K, etc. But that'll be up to someone else to actually try out. Hopefully in time we can get hold of that equipment, but until then, all I can do is test the 1080p output. Let's see how well it performs when just playing some test footage back from YouTube, and let's check out Kodi. Let's see how Kodi runs. As well as that, let's see the DRM protection. Let's see if it'll be able to play full HD 4K Netflix, for example. Let's move on now. Let's test all that out. Basic video playback on this device is absolutely fine. You should have very few issues when running YouTube. Unfortunately, this YouTube app isn't the one that we really like. It's the web app sort of thing, and it's not the one we like, which is more suited to TV boxes and the TV screens, etc. Now, Kodi plays absolutely fine. It runs nice and smooth. nice and smooth through the menus, as I would expect on this sort of device. And yeah, absolutely no problems at all. Obviously I can't test that 6K video playback or 4K, sorry guys, I just don't have the equipment here to actually do that. But overall, basic video playback, you shouldn't have too many issues at all. The DRM protection on this device is just like most of Chinese Android devices. It is Widevine level 3. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough for you Netflix users that want HD 4K output. Unfortunately, it's just not going to be possible. You're only going to be limited to, say, 480p. Now, this YouTube app does actually support 1080p, which is great to see, but overall, if you guys are wanting a really good Netflix experience, or just wanting something with better DRM protection, this box unfortunately is not going to be for you. So to summarise the Zidoo H6, yeah, it's not bad at all. It's actually really quite good, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. It's got its issues, just like the Beelink GS1. Certain firmware glitches, I mean the UI would stop responding sometimes, the apps would crash, code would crash, you know, things that you've kind of become used to with certain Android TV boxes from China. Now, hopefully, Allwinner, Beelink, Zidoo work together and hopefully iron out those issues over the next few weeks, over the next few months. Obviously, we've got those OTA updates available to us, so they've got every opportunity to fix them. But it seems a lot of nougat devices such as Amlogic, etc. seem to have these issues, and a lot more than, say, Marshmallow or even Lollipop. But there we go, that's just the way it is, I guess. Overall, the TV box works pretty well. It looks nice. It certainly looks the part at least. And it's not badly priced either. You can check out the full specifications in the link just in the description. Now, one final thing, that remote that came with it, it looks really nice and it works pretty well as well. So, overall, not a bad experience with this device. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Matthew and you've been watching the MXQproject. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter at MXQproject. Our website, lots of reviews, tutorials over there, MXQproject.com, as well as our Facebook group. All the links, etc. will be in the description below. So thanks for watching and we shall see you in the next one.